Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. As some of you may know, I am Chais, but if you don't and you're new here, you can call me Chai. I am a brow artist located in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm going to break down exactly how I map and shape this brow. I've been doing brows since I started as a makeup artist, but I decided to focus my brand more on brow aesthetics mainly. For brow services, one-on-one training classes, and all things brow education, you can book with me directly through my booking link. If you're a beauty professional looking to level up, my digital training guides, brow education courses, and marketing tools are available for purchase as well. I also share my favorite Amazon finds for brow artists and estheticians. Everything I personally use to create clean, consistent results and content. All links are in my bio and description below. Most people don't realize this step affects their entire brow shape. First, I start by cleaning and prepping the brow. For this client, I am tinting, so for mapping and tinting, I need a clean canvas base to start with. Preparation is what makes mapping accurate. The solution you clean your brows with is very, very important. You'll notice a lot of times if you don't use the right solution, sometimes your brow tint can either come out patchy or you don't really get a good stain. I do switch up what I use from time to time. Just make sure that you are using a oil-free cleanser. Anything oil-based will have a hard time trying to tint. Make sure that when you're cleaning the brows, you do a thorough clean. I like to take my spoolie and make sure I'm removing as much oils as possible. Sometimes you think you're removing enough oil until you don't. And you don't want to find out later that you did not properly clean your brow canvas. Next, for the skill you've all been waiting for, brow mapping. The first 3 lines I'm creating are the center guideline and the front points of each brow. These lines help establish balance and ensure both brows start in the correct position relative to the face. Next, I'm determining the thickness and overall height of the brows. This step is important because it helps me create a shape that's proportional to my client's natural features while maintaining symmetry from side to side. As you can see, I am dragging the thread so that way it marks on my client's forehead. Sometimes if the skin is naturally oily, it can push the mapping string, it can push the pigment off of the face, and it will be oily sometimes, but that's why you do make sure that you're cleansing the face as best as possible. Now I'm identifying the arch and tail of the brow. The arch is the highest point of the brow and it helps create lift and structure, while the tail determines where the brow should end for a balanced appearance. Now, for the sake of this video, I did not mark the arch and the tail. However, as a professional, normally I already know where my arch is going to land and where the end of my tail is going to land. So sometimes I don't initially mark them, but eventually as you continue to watch me map her brows, you'll see where her arch lands and you'll see where her tail lands. Once those key points are established, I move into the upper proportion of the brow. You'll notice I'm bringing my lines diagonally from the forehead area down toward the arch. This helps me visualize the flow of the brow and ensures the shape follows a natural flattering direction. From here, I begin creating the body of the brow by connecting the top and bottom guidelines. This is pretty much where the brow shape really starts to come together. I'm refining the framework, making sure the body of the brow flows smoothly from the front through the arch and into the tail. As I work, I'm consistently checking my measurements and comparing both sides. Remember, the goal isn't perfect twins. It's balanced, symmetrical brows that complement the client's natural facial structure. Once the framework is complete, I'll be able to clean up any hair outside of the mapping and move forward with the shaping surface. So every brow artist is different and they have different techniques on how they do things. And one technique I love to do on my clients is highlighting my lines after I finish brow mapping. I like to do this technique because it helps me see my mapping lines more clearly, so that way I know how to tint properly within my lines. I know what I'm waxing and what hairs I'm getting rid of. And then it also just helps me further explain my consultation to my client. As you can see here, I am stretching the skin and I am dragging the paste along the brow body to help my client see her brow shape and where I'm going to tint and what areas I am going to wax. What I don't recommend, and which some days it's a little bit frustrating because I will misplace my palette. I do not recommend for a brow artist to have the paste that they are using on the back of their hand, just due to sanitary reasons. Oftentimes I misplace my items in my suite and it gets so frustrating. And sometimes when I know I have a client and I know they have somewhere else to be, I tend to rush when it comes to starting their appointment. Just when you're using the brow paste, just make sure you take a small amount, put it on a saran wrap, just so we are being sanitary. Of course, I have it on the back of my hand, but I never make sure that the paste that I'm touching is on the back of my hand. I try to make sure that I'm only dipping the paste in a lump sum that's placed on the back of my hand. But to avoid that, just make sure you have a brow palette or a piece of saran wrap so you can put some of the white paste on to further be able to use on your clients. Next, what I am doing is just tightening my lines as much as possible. You'll see me tightening anything that has white paste. I'm just making those lines more blunt. And then I'm going to do this technique with both brows. I am still perfecting my brow mapping skills every day. I can say I'm always learning something new, and then I want people to understand that every client does not have the same facial shape. So of course you are mapping the client's brows out to that's asymmetrical towards their actual facial shape. So everyone has their own technique. I'm just showing you mine and some things I pretty much picked up along the way. Don't be afraid to pretty much shed some light on your journey. Don't be afraid to pick up new techniques as you are perfecting your brow mapping skills. I can say learning how to brow map effectively has saved me a lot of time from my clients being disappointed in their brows. Also, just making sure they're sticking to their aftercare routine once they leave my suite, and just checking in with me just to let me know if there were any, questions or concerns, any aftercare follow-up, things like that. I always try to make sure I'm accessible to my clients to be able to reach me if they have any concerns about their brows. Want brows customized to your face shape? Book your first brow appointment with me and receive $5 off on your first tint at my booking site within the link below. If you're a beauty professional and you want to tighten up your skills, grab my digital ebook link below. That's going to be attached in my description box. And just follow me for more skincare, brow tips, and or beauty tips along the way. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to drop a comment below. I'd love to see how many upcoming brow artists I do have out there. Make yourself known, talk to me, ask me questions. I love to be available to you guys as much as I can. I'd love to see your brow work, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.